I am a mistake. I was placed in foster care at 10 days old. I stayed there until I was 19. My entire childhood, my entire adolescence. Recently, I found my medical records. From 0 to 2 years old, there was medical monitoring. From 2 to 8 years old, nothing. A void. Not a single measurement, not a single visit, not a trace. Yet, I was a ward of the state, placed in the same foster family. I understood later. As a child, I didn't receive any dental care. By adolescence, my teeth were ruined. By 15, I had already lost some. I learned very early on to keep my mouth closed, not to smile, to behave. Even today, I wear braces. I've never had a real smile. It's a minor detail for some. For me, it's a lifetime of conditioning. In my child welfare file, I discovered reports filled with false words, assumptions, and sentences that didn't reflect who I was. They analyzed my lack of desire at age 13, linking it to my background, even though I grew up in a Catholic family, was baptized, and received communion. They wrote about me, without my input. I also learned of my mother's death by chance, at age 13, when I saw her name on a tombstone. No one had told me. No support. No connection made. No adult to consider that I might have needed to know, to understand, to grieve. I was never considered for adoption. I never had a plan for myself. I grew up alone, surrounded by adults, but alone nonetheless. Today, there's a lot of talk about child welfare. I'm still living with the legacy of that system. I'm not looking for pity. I just want people to remember that every child matters, and that abandoning a child leaves scars that last a lifetime. The inability of the adults in your life to properly care for you does not make you a mistake. Your story would read better if you didn't get ChatGPT to write it. I could have written this. I chose to not let my beginning determine my end. It took a while, and it was so hard, but I am the first person in my family to earn a degree. My stepdad tried to keep my family from getting any of my mom's ashes, but little did he know that the cremator would do this. I was 12 when my mom died in a car accident. She had been in a very physically and psychologically abusive relationship with my stepdad. Growing up, I knew that some of my mom's ashes were being saved for me, and I thought my stepdad decided to leave some for me. I have recently learned the truth of why there are ashes for me. It turns out when my stepdad was making arrangements for my mom to be cremated, he told the cremator that he wanted all of the ashes. The cremator knew about me, and thought it was weird that my stepdad wouldn't want to set some aside for me. So, without my stepdad knowing, the cremator set some aside to give to my maternal grandmother. Good thing he did, because I found out that my stepdad, without telling any of my family, held a little gathering where he let my mom's ashes go. He wanted to get all of my mom's ashes just to let them all go. So we not only couldn't keep a piece of her, but also so we wouldn't get this final goodbye. He still has no idea that I have some of her ashes. He is S-hero, and so is your grandma. That cremator quietly did you and your family a real kindness. What your stepdad tried to do was cruel and controlling, and it's okay to keep those ashes private, they're yours, and they represent the goodbye he tried to take from you. Me, I'd tell him just to rub it in his idiot face. My mom is obsessed with AI, and it's ruining our family and her health. I never post on Reddit, but decided to use a throwaway for this anyway. I, 20F, recently moved with my family after dropping out of college to pursue my dream job. My mom has always struggled with a myriad of mental health issues. I won't outline them all, but she has never once been mentally stable throughout my whole life. When I moved back home, everything seemed as it usually was. No one in my family is particularly close or loving. It's just the way things have always been, except for me and my sister, 29F, who also lives at home. I consider her to be my best friend, so we frequently talk about my mom and the things she does. After a couple days of being home, my mom started to frequently mention Chat, referring to Chat as if it were a real person. Oh, Chat told me this. I was talking to Chat about X, Y, Z, and Chat said you shouldn't be doing that. It was all she talked about. If you haven't put it together yet, Chat is ChatGPT. I wasn't shocked that she was an avid ChatGPT user, but what did shock me was how much she trusts and believes every single thing that comes from the bot. I am a tattoo artist, a profession that my devout Mormon mom doesn't exactly approve of, but she's come to terms with it. She asked me to send her some photos of my work. I obliged and messaged her a few pics under the assumption she just wanted to see what I was up to. Maybe 10 minutes later, she responds with a copy-pasted response from chat telling me what areas of my work I need to improve on. I guess she used those images to put into the bot and asked it some prompt along the lines of, "How can I improve?" I simply just responded with a thumbs up because saying anything else would just start a huge argument. Fast forward to last month, I started receiving death threats from my ex who has been stalking me for over a year. I took it to the police and filed for a restraining order. My mom insisted on being there for the court hearing as a witness. This worried me so much. I just knew she was going to say something weird. But she insisted that she be a part of it, seeing as I had 2 other witnesses, and she had also been contacted by my ex. The day before the hearing, I gathered all my courage and told her I did not need her at my hearing. She flew into a monstrous rage. I gave up and said fine. The hearing was already a nightmare, having to face my abuser/stalker. When it came time for her to give her statement, you can guess what happened. AI generated the entire thing. My face was beet red. I lost the hearing and did not receive the restraining order, following my mom's statement and her interrupting the hearing multiple times. Not to say she's 100% at fault, but it probably played a factor. This would be enough for me to be absolutely enraged at her AI obsession, but I'm afraid there is an even bigger issue. My mom has lots of health issues. She has a rare liver disease that she inherited that almost killed her brother, but he was luckily saved just in time with a liver transplant. She has a really bad chronic cough. She's had it for almost 2 years. Her breath smells like chlorine. Her stomach bulges out, and it's hard to the touch. Her face looks, I don't know, strange? Since the health issues have gotten bad, she looks like someone else entirely. She has concluded from chat that she does not need to go to the doctor. I wish I could see what conversations she is having with the bot. She says that medicine these days doesn't actually help people, and that all doctors are just narcissists. As much as I dislike her, I fear she is going to lose her life to this ChatGPT obsession. It feels like there is nothing I or anyone else can do. My dad is present, but since this chat thing has started, he rarely comes into the house or stays for long, so he isn't much help. My mom has been terrible to me and my sister, so we can't ever really hold a serious conversation with her without it resulting in her throwing things at us or threatening to hurt herself. I feel like I am watching her slowly wither away. This isn't as relevant to the major issues, but she said she also got diagnosed with autism by chat. She is now blaming all her horrible behaviors on her autism. I find it crazy that the bot will tell her all the symptoms of her health issues are normal, but will turn around and diagnose her with autism. I had an appointment with a Yenti doctor, and he walked in the room with his phone open and ChatGPT listening in. He claimed it's his assistant that will keep track of prescriptions we talk about. I asked for a new doctor. This is an awful situation. Sorry you're dealing with this. Not a serious suggestion, but you could always use ChatGPT to make your points, and then maybe she'd finally listen, rolling on the floor laughing. Or, how about we ask chat right now? LOL. All I can think is chat would be more helpful if it didn't mirror people's beliefs, and instead, maybe tried to show us our biases. I found my biological father at 18, and I don't know what to believe anymore. I don't really know how to write this, and I'm honestly still pretty overwhelmed, so sorry if this is all over the place. My mom died when I was 4. I never met my biological father, and after she passed I was raised by my sister, who I've lived with my whole life. Growing up, I was always told my biological father was a horrible person. I was told he used my mom for money, hurt her badly emotionally, abandoned her while she was pregnant, and never really tried to be part of my life. I was also told that after my mom died he tried to take custody of me, but by then I had already left the state. The way it was always explained to me made it feel like he wasn't just absent, he was genuinely a bad person, so I never really questioned it. On my 18th birthday, I decided to do an ancestry DNA test. I matched with a cousin on my father's side and messaged her, not really expecting anything to come of it. Months went by and I completely forgot about it. Then one day I randomly got an email saying she responded, and within a few hours everything I thought I knew felt like it got flipped upside down. She told me my biological father is alive, and that people on his side knew about me. She referred to me as the baby girl who would one day come searching, which honestly messed me up more than I expected. I never thought anyone knew I existed, let alone thought about me like that. She said she contacted him and told him I had been found, and according to her he cried and said his prayers had been answered. That same day she gave me his phone number. I didn't text him right away. I needed time to process, and I went over to my sister's house because I didn't want to be alone. When I did text him, I showed her everything. We talked back and forth, and he kept saying how crazy the situation was, how he always wondered where I was, and how he had tried to search for me over the years. He seemed emotional and sincere, and that's where I started feeling really conflicted, because it directly contradicts everything I've been told my whole life. The next day we only exchanged a couple messages, mostly about medical history and his relationship with my mom. Today is day 3, and we've talked a bit more about medical stuff, and how our schedules are really different, but now I feel stuck. I don't know how to continue this, or if I even should. On one hand, I've been told my entire life that he's a bad man and a pathological liar, so part of me feels stupid for even considering trusting him. On the other hand, right now he just feels like a stranger who made really bad choices, but seems like he wants to try now. I don't know which version of him is real. I don't know how much trust is too much, or how little is too little. I don't know what boundaries I'm supposed to have, or how fast or slow I should take this. I feel guilty for even talking to him, scared that everything I was warned about might be true, and overwhelmed that I'm only 18 and suddenly having to deal with all of this. I don't really know what I'm asking for. I guess I just needed to get this out somewhere, because it's been eating at me, and I don't know what to do next. You should just believe what you see with your own 2 eyes, and not what someone tells you. Who told you everything you knew about your bio dad? Don't go by someone else's say-so, and you can't really judge him by texts. Meet him somewhere neutral, where you know that you can leave at any time. You have nothing to lose.